Can we move payment of $100,
We
up
could.
to $100?
We could, and then
And that would simplify it, and then it produces.
who's signing checks these days?
You too.
Not me.
Steve,
I know
since
nothing.
No signal up there? Does that mean we lost people? Sorry to interrupt.
No, he still has them right
Yeah,
here.
for some reason this thing keeps.
They're just not on that screen,
there
but they're
it
right
is.
here.
Oh, he finds it, he digs it up.
You can hardly read it, but here,
Yes.
And BCTV is on also.
well, it all smudges on there.
Oh, yeah, it's 83.91 with the tax, it's 83.
So I motion to approve to reimburse Kirk $83 and what?
91 cents.
And 91 cents for expenses for repairing locks.
All right, a motion.
Who's the keeper of the receipts?
Me.
You
Motion
are.
has been made. I'll second that. Any other discussion on reimbursing the chairman for purchase and repair of the locks mentioned?
I have a discussion. Is it
It's actually
customary
89.
for you to give your labor and time?
I have for 30 years. Why should I start now?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying, for things that we would have paid a locksmith to do.
Well, exactly. I mean, but there's so many expenditures like this, that it's just kind of like, it needs to get done now. I can't just leave the thing. So,
I'm just talking about.
oh, I understand. I just,
If there's any
I
kind
don't
of
care.
Standard that we set for labor.
Right. I mean, personally, I don't care. That's part of what I'm giving to the community, I guess. But I understand what you're saying. And for things that are not urgent, I can put them on with the guy who does the boarding up and security. So normally that would be the procedure would be, I'll add that to the list and hand it over, and then whatever, rate we've established with them for security.
I only asked the question because
Oh.
I think it's unfair.
Well, yeah, great, thank you. I appreciate that, but, like I said, because I can't just leave the thing open. I don't.
No, I appreciate your
You know.
responsibility.
Can you amend the amount to $89.15 with the tax?
$89.15. Okay. 89, you can read that?
To the audience, we're stuck in some high finance here.
That was done 2 weeks ago, so there's interest.
$89.15.
But Sherry, it's probably
You should have
not.
did that before interest rates went down.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, we've been joined by Select Chair Lisa Lassard Pearson.
Okay, thank you. It's just, it's a small one. Are you a nonprofit?
We're a corporation. I don't know if we're
Well,
nonprofit.
it's.
We don't even know if we're a
Yeah,
corporation.
501(c)(3), aren't
It's
we?
a 501(c)(3). I'm not sure you can, include, tax. If you are tax exempt.
If we ever had a number,
Well,
it
I'm
would
just
take,
putting it
Give
out
Kirk
there.
his tax if they want to audit us for it, they can, I guess.
yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Right now, we're wrestling whether or not we're a corporation.
Exactly.
I just know it's,
And then we can wrestle with what kind.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know that that's a rule for 501(c)(3).
Correct.
Okay, then
Yes,
we are.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
You already said you are.
Okay.
Well, yeah, he bought it personally, so.
I doubt they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I think we're a for-profit corporation.
The town of Belchertown is now 501(c)(3), so EDIC.
But are they 501(c)(4)? Because that would still fall under.
Someone would have to
the
check
guidelines.
legislation on how this committee was created, and
Yeah, and hopefully we have that in the works for another reason. Hopefully that's in the works for another reason. So that'll get clarified hopefully soon. Okay. That's probably something a locksmith you really wouldn't call a locksmith to do it because there's no smithing. It's just put on a chain and put on and snap the lock. Okay,
Well, Tim Cook could
But-
do stuff like that. in the
I guess I
past.
would say that
Right.
Kirk has done this forever. Sherry, your point is well made.
Yeah.
But I guess there's a lot of things like this that people in town, citizens, just do for the town, something that's part of being part of this, you know, everybody up here, including yourself, are doing things that other people certainly could get paid for. We try to I guess it's a good thing to keep an eye on it, so it doesn't get out of hand. And we do have somebody we call for things that are a little more serious or can wait, as Kurt indicated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving right along. Anything on security, Kurt, besides that?
Not currently, no.
Okay. Doug, we're going to come to you in a minute about parcel B and if there's an update on the delineation process. With parcel D, Kirk, which is the parcel on Route 21, is there any new information about that?
No, it's just, I mean, last time I spoke with actually both Amandas on that issue, because I've been pushing, trying to get some kind of small amount of funds to do some rough excavation, but to no avail. No, I haven't heard anything since then. You know, they Ty and Bond had presented, I believe it was 5 items that they could do for the remaining 48,000.
Right.
So, you know, everything should, by the time that's done, everything should be ready to actually put a shovel in the ground.
Okay, excellent. Other things about site matters. Parcel B, Doug, do we have anything new about, Doug's, there he is. Anything, any update about the delineation of the wetland boundary?
Our conservation administrator seems to have been out. She had something come up, so I've not been able to ask her if she's made any progress on that. But I'm sort of checking daily to see if she's available. So I'll let you know as soon as I find out.
Okay, thank you. This issue is in the middle of the process of an exact determination of what size lot, if any, we would carve out of the remainder of parcel B, which is the small slice of land across Route 202 from the Pride Station. And we have a remaining chunk of that. A 30,000 square foot parcel has been conceptually drawn on that map. And we are trying to find the wetland delineation to make sure that parcel will stand and make it valuable and developable. And also for the layout of the trails location between the parcel or across the parcel and the wetland and Lake Wallace. So that was a continuing discussion. Thank you, Doug. Other site matters. One of the things that we discussed last meeting had to do with how to present and to whom to present this wonderful opportunity to build in Belchertown. And we felt we would want to cast a net more broadly to do that. And I'm wondering if we have any news from the select board about anything that might be an indication of those steps being taken.
I was going back and forth with BCTV. What was the question?
Are there any indications of any new steps being taken to present the opportunity here to new audiences or more broadly than we have in the past?
You mean like a marketing campaign?
Or a specific,
Maybe.
is that something we want to discuss this evening or not? It's up to you.
Not in open session.
Okay. Because of the nature of the conversations, then we'll reserve that for later. Thank you. I'm glad I kept my mouth shut.
Right?
Did I say that? Okay. Development, communication planning for the community and with the community. Sherry.
Well, Kate is joining us. This is Kate Nato, who is our communications manager for the town.
Thank you, Kit.
I will give Kate an opportunity to speak as well. We had a nice chat. I think she talked with Doug as well about, before this big Lake Wallace, this big fest. We're basically putting out a feel-good kind of from the meeting. And we hope everyone really enjoys and makes use of the trail. And basically what a pleasure it was to be able to have this gift to the community. Also, we had mentioned, and talked with Steve the last point, and Kate and I discussed it, an official EDIC at belchertown.org email address. And Kate is going to get that done for us, and it'll end up, so when somebody sends an email to the EDIC at belchertown.org, each one of us will get it on our private emails. Unless somebody wants to deign that one person gets it, communications, or we can all just communicate that who is going to respond, because we certainly don't want, 5-6 responses going out to anybody who sends an email.
That would be good to try to figure out before we open it up.
Well,
Is there any
I don't know,
open meeting
Open meeting issues.
issues with everyone receiving? I don't think so.
there's only, if you discuss it, there is, but not if you don't discuss it with everybody. Yeah, I mean, 2 members can talk, but 4 can't. So you can't deliberate on anything. So it's up to you. We can assign one person. I mean, I will volunteer because I've taken the role as the communications, go-between on that.
Sold, you're it.
I'm just putting it out there that, it can be sent to everyone or just a few.
So you're talking about an email that would be publicly published to receive, like select board members
That's
have.
exactly right.
How do you all feel about that? I mean, how does that work for you? Let me get some immediate experience. We've never had that before.
Well, our emails go through Finerty. When you send something to select
Board.
board, it goes through Finerty, so.
So what emails that are sent to the select board or select,
So there are 2
but you have
things.
individual.
We have one, which is the general mailbox, which is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And that goes to Steve. And whatever comes up in that mailbox is then put in our packets so that we can read them ahead of time.
So you get a packet of email.
We get a packet for our agenda
And the emails,
all
yeah.
other supporting materials. But in addition to that, each of us has our own
Right.
email.
That's
So-
what I sent to you with the agenda.
Exactly, and so that's 2 ways that
Sure,
you can do that.
so we have, different committees already have these email addresses existing. Some committees choose to have everyone get a copy of the email that's sent to them. Other committees choose to have a couple people on the email. You never want to have just one person receiving them because, Cheryl might win the lottery and decide to stop checking her email, right? We don't want that to happen.
Yes,
If
we
she
do.
wins the lottery, good for her.
She wins a lottery. She better stay on emails from me.
So like the
Sharing is
communications
caring.
committee keeps 2 people on the email. As long as, some choose that they want to keep it under whatever their quorum number is. of the people receiving the email, and then other committees like the AgCom, everybody gets it. So really, it's up to you to decide what you think is gonna work best for your group.
It's also important to have two people get it in case there's a controversial topic that comes up, that at least two different sets of eyes are looking at this, so you're more apt to get all of the communications.
I'm wondering if that would be something that the secretary would be a part of, because like anything, if we get letters or something that ends up having to be part of.
So the last email I sent to the town manager, the select board, everyone on the select board, not just the members present, Mr. Barry. I sent it to all the members of the board, and my system responded that the email was too large. However, it did go out because you all did receive it. And that was two attachments, which were the meeting minutes from the last September meeting, the exec and the regular.
So my question is, similar to the way Steve gets it and he puts the things like into a packet and stuff, is that you, as the secretary, the person taking
Well, I would think
the
we
minutes.
fall in this category, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
feel-
saying, is if there's gonna be two people,
I feel compelled to remind us that he is a temporary secretary.
And it's easy to take people in and out of the email addresses too, like, if all of a sudden Cheryl does win the lottery and she doesn't want the emails anymore, you just simply send me a message and say, hey, Cheryl's out, Jim's in. And it's like a 30-second thing to fix it in the back
Yeah.
end. So it's not like, we're not talking something permanent here, we're talking something that can be fluid and can change as you need it to change.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem with everybody getting it, and then as long as we have a process in place where we're not all responding, I think as long as we all see it, and then it should be on our agenda, maybe if there's something to discuss. But
Select board starts with
so
communications,
again,
right?
so that way everyone kind of gets to take a look at it first. And then when we meet, it could be part of our agenda, unless it's something urgent, which I doubt. But that way no one has to worry about getting it to everybody.
That's a good point. Let's see, Matt, are you hearing this? Do you have any thoughts about this?
I think one main email is the way to go, and then everybody can look at it. And if we have to take the sender off of it and communicate to each other, whoever's going to respond, that's a good way to do it too.
Okay.
There should be no communications between the committee members
That's
outside
right.
of the meeting.
I just meant who's going to respond, or however you want to do it. Like, hey, I'll respond to this type email. Not like talk about what the email was about.
Right, someone can just respond and say, thank you, we received your email, we'll discuss it at our next meeting type of thing.
Exactly, yes.
You might be able to set up an automatic response.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what the communications committee has an automatic response on theirs. So it tells people your email's been received and we meet, the first and third, or the second and fourth Thursday of the month. We'll get back to you after that.
Perfect.
Okay, so that would meet the requirements of the open meeting law.
Because
Oh,
then
we-
you'd be discussing it in
Yeah.
session.
That's what Katie was saying. Any other feelings about that? The shiver I got when we first introduced this subject this evening had to do with a very controversial subject from another board that I'm on. And I had over 530 emails in a week. But if there's I don't think that's happened. But maybe it hasn't happened because we haven't been connected to the net. Is there a way to, let me ask this question. Is there a way to step into it in gradations? And then if it's workable and we can work it properly, then to expand it further? Or, I mean, once you start it, you can't stop, right?
Well, once you have the email open, if you wanted to get less volume of mail coming in, then you would maybe look at having only certain people checking it. But it also goes into like how you set up your personal mailboxes too, and how you're sorting your mail as it comes in. So you could, potentially set up your personal mailboxes so that way anything that's coming in from this EDIC email is going into a separate folder, and it's not like, not your, filling your mailbox up with spam, if you will. You also have the option too, so like you have to, everyone that's gonna be on it will have to give you the email address that they wanna use. So you could decide that you wanna set up an email that you're just gonna use for EDIC stuff. And that way, if for whatever reason, 500 messages come in a week, they're not going into your main personal email, they're going into one you purposely set up for your EDIC.
That's a good idea. Mm.
Okay,
It's called spam.
okay.
No, that's a good idea, yeah.
Any other thoughts on this? You making a proposal?
Well,
Sherry?
I'm asking the question, and Kate's coming in, and all of that, but it seems like this would be a good I don't even know, that maybe all emails coming in should go to the EDIC email so that everyone can look at them and be able to have them all before meetings and everything else. And that should be the way, even the way we communicate with everyone, rather than all through our individual private emails.
I'm willing to try it. I mean, not just to share that and see how it goes. Past experience notwithstanding, I'm willing to give it a try. I think we've made a commitment to be more accessible, more public, more connected. And there's no more basic way to connect than have a two-way stream, or at least an open channel for people.
Well, we all have an understanding of the open meeting laws, and we know you can't deliberate or discuss things, but to have all of the information prior to the meeting, even you could think about it yourselves, going in, all things.
Suppose something comes in that is more specific. For example, something like tonight. Suppose an email comes in and I read it, and it has to do with open doors on the property, which I don't deal with, but Kirk does. How do I get that email, which I've read that maybe he hasn't? Suppose he's north.
Now,
Is that
now,
a violation of the open meeting law?
well, not if there's two people talking about something.
Yeah,
Okay.
the two people, but from what I understand, you're talking about having everybody.
Would get it, but
So-
he would just say, Kirk,
You
do
could
you have
text them and
this?
say, Kirk, check the email, there's something for you
Yeah.
in there.
Or, then this came
Okay.
in, and you could forward it to Kirk.
Okay. What do we do now, Sherry?
Well, I mean, in my situation, if I were to walk onto the property, which I did in one case, and notice that the padlock is missing, my inclination is to pick up my telephone and to immediately call Mr. who knows how to deal with it,
Fix it.
and say, fix it.
Right.
And it's
that
not
we
a
all have
matter
that
of, oh, well, let me see if someone is available that maybe can get in there tomorrow or the next day. It's fix it in the next 20, 30 minutes and secure this property. We're liable for,
I'm not that available.
something.
What does that have to do with the email? I'm sorry. What-
That's not communicating by email. That member's actually picking up a telephone and talking to each other about it.
And you can do that,
We
but
don't
you
have to
couldn't-
send that to
but-
some sort of email system
Yeah.
that will bog down the process for about 24 hours.
No, I don't think
Okay.
that's not the purpose of the email though.
Yeah.
The purpose of the email is for people to be able to contact us.
The
No.
public.
Yeah,
She's saying we could use it to communicate with each other, but the primary purpose is so people know how to contact the E EDIC.
Let's see if we can separate out some issues here and get some movement tonight. I think we can take a look at an email, having an email system, and decide yes or no, we're going to do it. And trust that it gets set up properly where, we can all read it and whatever, but don't have to respond. And it'll wind up in our agenda. And we can separate that from the rules and regulations of open meeting and how to handle the email, because it's not even set up yet. It seems to me as though a refresher on those communication rules would benefit us. And so let's say that those are two separate things, in this case connected, but we'll try to do both of those in a reasonable future time frame. How's that sound?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody want to propose that we move forward with the email? I don't think we have to formally vote, but you made a suggestion that we do, everybody gets it. And you don't have to respond. There's an automatic response. Thank you, we received it. Our meetings are such and such, and see, and we'll respond after, at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Kind of the way the select board does it. Does that sound okay to everybody? And Matt already indicated that's kind of how he wants to see it. Okay, do it,
Awesome, love it, thank you.
do it. We don't need to vote on that, but it looks like we have a consensus. That's the way we want to move forward.
Which follows the fashion of other,
Yeah.
like I said, it is a personal choice.
Why did that
So
seem
it's
so
not-
scary?
I don't know.
Things have been held so tight.
And so just to be clear, you can call her
Yeah.
and say,
Yes.
this is, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I won't
You
answer.
can even email her,
Yeah, he never
email
answers
back
that.
and forth between,
Okay,
committee,
Yeah,
just
that's a little
not if you
slower
have
than
a
a
quorum.
phone call. I
Um,
actually find my
Now,
computer-
so getting back to, she established it, I'm gonna take the opportunity to come and talk to you and introduce herself. Moving forward, not tonight, but at a future time, we'll be then targeting and addressing things that we want to communicate. So the first one's done, it's just gonna be feel good.
all right.
Everybody enjoy Lake Walk, run, walk, roll, whatever terminology they're using for the accessible walk. Just happy, EDIC is happy. And everybody get out there and enjoy it. Now we'll need to think and deliberate further. Do we want to form another focus group? Talking of casting our net and doing those things. This would be something Kate would help us with in publicizing, putting on the town website, people sending their letters of interest to BEDIC.org. That's, they would send it if they wanted to be a part of the focus group, having anything on that. So we need to think about what we want to communicate.
Okay,
And
So-
we'll be able to deal with Kate. And I'll go ahead.
so a focus group is really intended to develop ideas and also react to ideas, to give input. And I think the more fundamental question is, what is the purpose of the focus group, and how do we communicate that purpose? In the past, what we've done is having kind of an open forum where people shared a lot of ideas of what could happen. We currently have a lot of things underway on site, and some things in a state of flux. And that seems to be a confusing environment in which to ask people, what do you think we ought to do with the property?
Well, again, I said, these are things we're gonna discuss in the future.
Oh, okay.
That Kate will help us with.
Never
Right now,
mind, never mind.
We've said we're sending out a feel good,
Okay,
just to have a presence, have a
Good.
visible presence.
well, I mean, we talked about launching or improving the website, and there is a lot happening, and a lot that we just generated in terms of data and information that we could structure and put into the website. Things that we've accomplished both this year and over the years. The millions of dollars of revenue and of construction money that have come in.
And
The
that's-
numbers of businesses, and maybe a list of the businesses that are on EDIC property with a little tag, support your local business. We already have something, I don't know.
Well, I think that's probably worth an item, an agenda item that we'll get homework for, and we'll know to bring it in so that we can tick through things.
Okay.
And stuff, rather than, we cannot redesign a website in a, regular.
Right, but I'm separating that out from the idea of a public forum. I think a website should always have, tell us your thoughts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Politely,
And be careful what you ask for.
I agree,
yes.
but
So
I
a future
also-
meeting,
at a future meeting, we'll.
Next-
yes,
at our
website's
next
gotta
meeting,
get done,
do you
but
think,
also
do you think our next meeting might be the time to do that?
I
Well,
think
I-
too soon.
The next meeting is with Mass Dev.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they'll
go
be
to
in.
The next one, if those meetings tend to run long, right?
They can.
Yeah, put them in a month from now.
So the first meeting in November,
And we should all be thinking about what kind of things that
okay,
we'd like to see, both on the website and then in other communications, the social communications, and again,
okay. That's great. Can you help us with that and participate?
Yeah, for sure. So, like Cheryl mentioned, we had a great conversation earlier this week. And, really what it comes down to is nobody's going to tell your story except you. So it's thinking about the story and getting control of your narrative and what do you want to put out there about what the EDIC has done in the past and where you're looking to go in the future. And really start highlighting some of the goals that you've already met and showing off, places where you've made an impact and then places where you're looking to make an impact, to really get your story out there and to kind of take control of the perception that people may have of the EDIC. And, we spent a little bit of time looking at the website and, really the website, the way it is, your pages on the website now, we're just kind of ported over from the old website. So there's like old material in there, like going with this EDIC@belchertown.org email address. Having that on there is really gonna help open up the communications for people to reach out to you. But definitely we're gonna need photos and stuff to really start building it up and making it what it can and should be.
speaking of which, Kate and I had discussed, I gave her the site plan that you had passed out at our last meeting. I gave her my copy of it, that we'll need digital files.
Yeah, we want
Yeah,
anything we
For
can do digital.
many things, we're gonna need
We have-
digital files.
Like if you guys are able to get a map of when you started back in the 80s,
We
of
have
what the
everything.
land looked like, and then, more files going forward of what the land looks like now. So people can see the time over
Yeah.
thing. We spend a lot of time looking at Carriage Grove and what it looks like now, but let's see what it looked like when you guys started. What you guys were working with. Let's look at it and see all these buildings that you guys managed to get abated and taken down, the ground cleaned up. That's huge.
Before the
We gotta
road,
tell that
after the
story.
road.
We have
You know.
stuff
The
from
3
way
miles of
before the
photos
digital
underground.
world.
All that stuff.
We have stuff.
Well, I'm thinking also the presentation you gave the select board, that's pretty much everything that Kate has been talking about in terms of,
Oh, that kind of stuff.
We don't have any
yeah, you
visual,
could,
you
you
still
could look
need-
at that as a,
We have a lot of stuff.
why reinvent the wheel?
We don't have to. We have 6,000 wheels in the basement, so don't worry about that.
And that's why Cheryl said, come forward at the next meeting with these ideas so we can really start getting into a session. And then Cheryl and I can work together and be like, here's our roadmap
Okay.
forward. Here's where we're gonna start ticking off things and working on our collaborative effort on that.
Okay, so a bit of process then. How about if you and Cheryl send us an email with your email?
You're gonna need it so you can tell me what your email addresses are anyways.
Yeah, and then you send a note out to us with a reminder to pull all these ideas together. And we can send them to you if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Just a list of the kinds of things to put into the website. Maybe a few examples, not a million digital files, that you can sort of coalesce that.
Isn't that something we're gonna do at our November meeting, that we're gonna then decide
Well,
what
we're gonna
goes on
get-
as a group?
I'm trying to make the first November meeting a little more expeditious than it might be, with each one of us hauling out our lists. If that could get synthesized before.
I think if everyone's able to send me lists ahead of time.
Yeah.
Then I can take those lists and be like, everybody said we have to talk about this, so clearly that has to
That's
go on
really
there.
what I'm asking you to do.
But then only one person mentioned this, and then we have a conversation, be like,
Very
every, everybody forgot about this one item, but it's
Right.
awesome and we need to include it, or,
Right.
we really don't need to include it.
It's not meant to short circuit the discussion, just the enumeration of numers. Okay. So, thank you. This is good. Good steps forward, Sherry. Okay. Anybody else with a question?
Did you want to put down your email now?
Do you guys want my email now while we're sitting in the room? It's really easy, I swear.
Yeah, because it's Belchertown. Stay native.
Okay, NATO at
Yeah,
I
it's
used
my
to,
first
I used to know a
name,
guy who used
and then
the
my last
excuse that
name,
he wrote it down wrong.
NADEAU @belchertown.org.
See, I didn't even hear that. I'm sorry. I was talking.
We already have it somewhere.
Please again.
I think a bunch of you do. So it's my first initial K, and then my last name, NADEAU @belchertown.org.
Okay.
Kate, do you want images too? Now, or?
No, I think at this point, we should focus on the list of what people want to put together. And then once we have a cohesive plan, getting into the
Guys, there's no sense searching for images if we decide that one's, we don't want that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like history and stuff on the website that Cheryl and I can begin with, like pulling out and,
Right.
and looking at and putting into different places too, so.
It'll also give us a good starting point. Maybe the first 4, 5, 6 items that we want to put up and work on those. A continuing expansion list that doesn't have to be static and be added to also.
So I'm gonna go back to the format that we talked about for the select board meeting.
Uh-huh.
You know the outline we came up with?
Yeah.
That's the same, that's exactly what she's asking for, is those points. What's a history, what are some success stories, what are you doing now? What are the next steps? So it's the same format. I'm simply saying this because I know you put work into that.
Thank you.
Because again, up to you.
Thank you. I'm sure that's going to be the core of it. But I also know this group. And there's another 6,000 ideas sitting out here. Good ideas, and we'll find a place for them. It's good to collect them anyway. Thank you. All right, moving right along. We've done communication planning for the community and with the community. Development status. I have a few items to share. And I did confirm with Mass Development that I think it's public knowledge that our agreement with Mass Development terminates next month. And this is just part of a contract we've had for many years with them, since 2012, I believe, when it first started. And it's been extended, continued 4 times already, I believe. And it's time to do that again. And we agreed that we would work together with them on extending it, probably for another year. And although that is our intent, we still have to figure out with them what that would mean and what it would cover and how it would work, which you do at any renewal time with a contract. So I would say that that's in process. We had a good meeting, an executive meeting at our last session, wherein we generated a number of objectives or purposes for that period of time, that extension period of time. And I would share with you that that was sent to Mass Development and was today confirmed that it's their understanding that that is an appropriate set of things to work towards, although it may not be a final set, because they are also working internally to determine how they want to move forward with us for the next year. So that's still in process, and it actually will result in a contract negotiation with them, which is appropriate. It's always has. So we'll discuss that further in executive session. But I think it's important to share with everybody here and with the general public that we seem to be headed on the same road with them. And that's good. Also, we have confirmed, one of the questions that came up was about zoning. And our special consultant advisor has put together a very good summary, which he confirmed with Doug Albertson, of the zoning requirements and elements, purposes of the Business Neighborhood Center District, which is the zone covered by all of our property and was approved as a zoning bylaw amendment at a town meeting. So I would ask our special assistant if he wants to say a few things. I think there's a few people who don't have it yet. Yeah.
You did.
And they've got it now. Well,
So you probably know.
Lisa needs it.
If I may,
Lisa, please.
as you probably know, I was on the planning board for a number of years.
Sherry's got it.
And was involved with the first zoning of that property. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me give it to the map.
And that's good. We got them. I made a few.
I have things.
She wants one for Matt.
I'll give it to Matt.
Oh, good. Matt, you're going to get one. If you received this by email already, not tonight, but previously, Matt.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So what occurred at the last meeting was a comment by someone with regards to, when a question was asked, why did they do such and such? The answer came back was, well, it's zoned industrial. And my initial reaction was, what the heck is he talking about? Because started out, it was never zoned industrial, but I'd been out of it for 2 years, so perhaps something changed. So I went through the whole zoning bylaw of Belchertown, and I found the D section on Business Neighborhood Center District, which is what this whole property is under. There's a link to the whole subsection there if you wish to click on it. I tried to summarize it for you. So there's a couple, the first page is talking about the purposes, but the most important piece, I think, is that on the second page and the third page, this list that is enumerated within the zoning bylaw. All of these things are allowed by right, which means we can do this without asking for special permits or anything of that nature. So my suggestion would be that mass development become very familiar with this.
Yeah.
And B, whoever you may decide to help market it in future, be familiar with this.
Absolutely.
And maybe more importantly, you all look at this in detail and say, is there something missing or something that should be corrected?
A clarification, are you talking about?
Everything.
The whole
Entire site.
property.
The whole site.
Well, the
So are
former
you talking about-
campus.
The former
Excuse
campus.
me, are you talking about just the campus?
Yes, the former campus.
Not parcel D?
Correct. This is the campus we're talking. What we've been working with mass development.
Let's double check.
But-
Doug, which of our parcels does this cover?
It covers the whole campus. So the field along State Street, Christopher Heights, all that stuff, Brissa, the whole works, all the way out to Jackson Street. It does not.
Parcel D is
D
different, right?
and B.
Parcel
and
D is general business.
Parcel D is general business.
Correct.
Okay.
It has its own list of approved uses.
And Crispies?
Crispies
So,
is limited business.
Limited business.
Oh,
So when it says light manufacturing, is there a definition of light manufacturing, or is that just sort of
Yes.
there is?
Doug, did you hear the question?
I did get the question, and light manufacturing, if it's not spelled out in the bylaw, I don't have it memorized.
You don't?
Generally, Once upon a time, I think I did. That was 11 years ago.
Yeah. So like we-
Anyway, yeah, light manufacturing is, things like, assembling stuff to get
Which
ready,
is-
but you're not actually manufacturing it. So, instead of a sawmill cranking out oak boards, it'll be Kirk's wood shop as he bangs them together to make little Christmas ornaments.
Okay,
So does that mean manufacturing is not permitted here then?
Not heavy manufacturing, no. That's
Not heavy
that was specifically addressed when we were when mass development was coming up with its original master plan. We don't want big polluting business with lots of trucks, and then when we were creating the zoning, it was we're not going to have that, and we're not going to have single houses. We're going to have more of a community downtown type thing with residential types that we need, and with retail and some professional type space.
Seemed
Which
to me
would
there was
manufacturing.
sort of get away from the big box footprint.
No big box. Nobody wants a humongous chain store.
I don't think one would
I
be
like,
there anyway.
just
but-
some clarification, that this is what is allowed by right.
Yeah.
Not
Site plan
what
approval.
be allowed by getting the special permit or getting a zoning or anything future that we might need. So the things that are not allowed by right.
Things that are not allowed are just not allowed.
Without
Period.
getting,
Without changing the zoning.
without changing the
Yeah,
zoning.
you have to change the zoning, yeah.
We just changed the zoning in town, so it can be done.
But you can't with the special permit, you still can't.
what is she cooking up?
Special permit. I'm just saying, we don't want to eliminate things to just have it that go out there that this is never allowed. It can be allowed, but there are hoops to jump.
Well, with enough money and enough lawyers, you can change anything, I think.
Well,
But
you need
isn't it also
60% of the town vote in order to change any kind of zoning ordinance.
67, yeah, that's right, 2/3.
Okay, Lisa?
Does this also have to do with water? At least that's what I've been told, that, that the, light manufacturing would use less water. And that's one of the reasons why.
No.
Less noise, less lights, less.
Sure that we,
No?
No.
So we can bring in any kind of industry and they can use all kinds of water.
no,
Didn't say that.
If there's not enough water, you can't be.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
No,
Well,
it-
Well,
except
that's
for
not
if-
why
that case-
this was done before the water.
right.
Yeah, but
This
if Coca-Cola wants to move in and put in a huge bottling plant, I don't think we have the water for it. So it's not going to happen anyway. If Arc Point, for example, if they are wildly successful and they want to expand, they'd have to go back to the water district and see if they could.
Or sink their own well.
Can I ask a historical question? So someone had mentioned this to me. I can't recall the specifics, but I see no big box here. Is that why we had the opportunity for a grocery store to come to the campus and it was denied because it was considered a big box?
No. We had discussions about a grocery store with a broker or a representative and a broker, not directly with the store company. And the issue had to do with the way it would look. We were concerned that a big box in that place, the way they're typically constructed, we have an example in town already, and the way they're lighted and where the parking was sought for this particular venture. Those were questions and issues that were put on the table. This board was more concerned about the visual impact, not the traffic or whatever. Yeah. So it was, in fact, I went around to places in other communities where design requirements are extraordinarily stringent, extensive design requirements for any kind of facility. I took pictures of McDonald's in Kennebunkport. You could trip over the sign and still not know it's a McDonald's. It looks like a colonial house, for example. I took pictures of Walmarts in New Hampshire. New Hampshire has some very interesting zoning around the way things look. They have one of those superstores, a Walmart superstore. It doesn't look like your typical Walmart. It looks like a series of different buildings and houses on the facade. So those things were possible, and we discussed with the potential venture, and they decided they didn't want to do that.
It didn't go very far.
It didn't go very far, that's correct. Good question, Neil. Okay. Jim, thank you for this work. It's critical. And these are the kinds of conversations we all need to have.
I have a meeting. I'm sorry, I'm late for it.
Thank you for being here. Okay.
Okay.
Elvis has
Let's try to keep this under 3 hours.
Yes. We're just about done with the regular agenda. Anything else to report? Because we do have some things to cover quickly in the executive session. Anybody?
I'm good.
So,
Looks like we're all set. Matt, anything from you?
Nope, we're good.
Doug?
I'm all set, thank you.
thank you.
Steve?
Nothing more from me.
I got a couple updates for executive session.
Okay. In that case,
Thank you, Kate.
I will move that we move to executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 2.1, subsection 6 of the Open Meeting Law, to discuss terms and conditions of pending proposals and contracts, and we will not return to regular meeting at the conclusion of the executive session. This will be a roll call vote. Anyway, Matt?
Aye. Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
We get a second on that?
You? I heard you second it.
Oh, second.
Yes.
It was a whisper, but
I know.
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes, yeah.
All right, 600, we're now in executive session. I've circulated the contact for the executive session. So I'm going to end this session here.
This